What if Female Deku was a robot bird? We go to Island, where Melissa Shield had been working on a secret project known as the Robotic Bird Project. She wanted to make a robotic bird hero. Someone that could influence and also make peace or gather peace around the world. As we can see, she is working on making Izumi would be the robot's name, which would be Deku, Female Deku. As she's working on it, she's deciding what type of weapon should she add to the robot. One, she is a bird, so she'll have mechanical wings and will be able to fly. Well, she prepares finishing her. She gets called by David Shield. As she goes to meet her father, Izumi gains intelligence. Her AI that. Hey, what are you doing over here? Anyway. As she goes to meet her father, Izumi gets intelligence, and her AI that was supposed to be deactivated until Melissa Shield was in the finishing stages of Izumi turned on. Where am I? Who am I? As she goes through the protocols of the computer and seeing robotic bird Izumi, her name. Izumi. As she goes through the files and all that, as she's going through the things of the Hero Safety Commission and the heroes in general, as heroes, evil, must tear down, but must finish body. As the machines turn on and they start to complete and finish her body, as her robot bird form is being built, we go to David Shield, who's talking to his daughter, saying that they'll have some important things to do for the next few days, as Class 1A is coming over to Island to visit, or a field trip, not to visit, but anyway. As David knows about her little project with Izumi, or of Izumi, and he's totally fine with it. But for the next few days, Izumi would be working on finishing her body without Melissa Shield knowing because she's been too busy. As she decides to make a partner, as they also start on a male version that was also in programming or development, known as Blue. Because why not Blue? Honestly, really good name, I say anyway. So, let's just move on. As her body is complete, as she moves, testing out her body, her robot body. As she moves her hand, and when it moves into a fist, as a blade comes out from her arm. As she does it to her other arm, and a blade comes out. Time to do some testing. As she goes into the training field of the area where she's at. Testing flame resistance. As two flamethrowers shoot at Deku, or Izumi, going around her, not affecting her in the slightest. Flame resistance, check. Bullet resistance, as she uses her wings to block all the bullets. Check. Checking mental capacity. Testing for hacks. And self-protection from any mind games. Installed. No current way to test. Must test in future. As she goes over to the development of blue. So this shall be my partner. Blue, I believe. As she noticed the amount of the color. Why was the decision to make him blue? Doesn't matter. We shall correct this society and make it great. As she hears walking. As she starts shutting everything down. And she goes back into the position. And powers down. As Melissa Shield enters the room. Okay, tomorrow is the big day. Several Uncle All Might and several of Class 1A from UA are coming over. To Island, this is exciting. New people. I wonder how the heroes are doing over there. As Izumi is acting to be powered off, as she's observing. Note, creator, Melissa Shield. As she then remembers she forgot to turn off the development of blue. As she opens her other eye to see that blue was awake. And already shut off all of his gear that was having repairing and making his body. Good. Should not be discovered. Well, anyway, I probably should go to bed. As she was only coming in there to grab some tools. To take them and put them away. And then she leaves. As Izumi gets up and out. Good. She didn't catch. Blue, is your voice done? Well, yes. Just a little bit more engineering. It just took a bit. We need to finish your wings and arms. They should be done by tomorrow. That's when Class 1A is coming over, and All Might, apparently. Judging by the information I've gathered, they are not on the list. Who's on the list? So far, several heroes from the Hero Safety Commission, going down to several low heroes, all the way to the second hero. Is that who's on our list? Yes. As soon as I'm done with repairs, we'll find a way off Island. We may have a problem with that. Someone has infiltrated Island recently. How do you know? Being an artificial intelligence, I've already scanned the data of Island through and through. Someone has arrived here, and he's not exactly on the good side. Shall we take care of him? When we're done and powerful enough. First, we need to finish repairs. Or not repairs. Fixing his body, really. His robotic body. Oh, of course. What if Melissa Shield finds out? She hasn't found out yet. I doubt she'll find out. For the meantime, anyway. Very well. As she goes to power off, to save her energy. As Blue also goes to power off. As we go a day later. Day when Class 1A and All Might arrives. So, Melissa Shield, I heard you had a project. Aizawa asks her. Oh yes, I was trying to build a hero. I don't know exactly what I was gonna call her, but she's a robotic bird called Izumi. Can you show me? Unfortunately, no. Father says I can't show anyone her, as right now this is y'all coming over to visit. She's currently locked in the lab. Well, that's at least we know that she is somewhere safe then. Yes. All right. Well, anyway, follow me. I can show you more around. As she begins to show Class 1A, and everyone, Aizawa, around, as All Might and David Shield are talking, as that one villain that I think that could control. I don't remember his quirk. All I know he could control concrete or something, and he had a quirk amplified in that one movie. I don't remember. Anyway, that's the villain that's here. As Izumi and Blue have been out and have currently met with this villain. We cannot allow you to commit your crime here today. And who may y'all be? I am currently Sunray, the bird of the sun. And why, I'm dark blue. Get out of my way, as he sends concrete at them. As Izumi cuts the concrete in half as Blue goes towards him. As they go out into a fierce battle, a 2v1, dealing several damage to the underground area they're in. As they exchange blows, injuring Izumi and Blue a bit with their mechanical body. But over time, they do manage to eliminate the villain. And any external damage taken from you, Blue. Just some damage to the arm. How about you? Damage to the leg, as well as to the back. Repair time may take up to a few hours. No time, we need to move to the mainland of Japan. Our job continues. We won't be able to carry the necessary gear there by flight. We'll be discovered. I've already prepared a boat ahead of time. We'll repair on the way to the mainland. Alright. So, basically, the events of Island would go without the villain attack. And the villain that got his quirk amplified would never happen, as it had all been prevented, thanks to Izumi and Blue. As they're on their way to the mainland of Japan, because they had never been there. So, who's on our list next? Some heroes. I also have something off the League of Villains that they're called. League of Villains, you say? Yes. Although, I don't know what is their motives or anything. Well, I'm sure we'll find more information on them when we get to the mainland of Japan. You're probably right. No need to overthink things either, as there are plenty of other things you could think about. You should really get that arm repaired. As Blue looks at his broken arm. You really need to have yours fixed first, Izumi. A broken back and a broken leg is more important. Fair point. But you need to be more considerate. There'll be many more villains and heroes we'll need to take care of when we arrive. I am aware. I will power down to save energy. As she begins to power down, as Blue goes to the computer, tapping with his one working arm, checking the security cameras, making sure he had deleted everything, all security cameras and everything. How Izumi and him got out of the lab. As Melissa finally goes back to her lab to check, as she noticed Izumi was gone. As she definitely runs over to tell her dad and All Might and pretty much everyone else from Class 1A, letting them know that something had been stolen. As they go over to check, and they try to check the security footage, but they could find nothing. As they were very thorough in disguising or covering up their tracks of how they escaped. You could say escaped, or more just kind of just walked out the door, because they kind of did just walk out the door. Because there was nothing holding them there, to be honest. Because the door's locked from the outside. Sure, there's security cameras, but you're dealing with robots. Anyway, as they finally reach an abandoned harbor, I'll say, and they go to abandoned warehouse that's on the harbor, and they set up the machinery off the ship, or Blue does. Izumi's still powered off. As Blue had fixed his arm on the way back from island to Japan. Note, as he goes out and takes care of the hero in that he was going to hunt in the city, and goes back, that's another off the list. As Izumi finally wakes up. Where have you been? Oh, just been out taking some people off the list. You shouldn't go out by yourself. Oh, and why is that? We are two birds and a machine and machines. We can't be risk being caught. We are made to fight as a pair, not as individually. We can still fight quite decently on our own, Izumi. I'm aware, but we need to be cautious. We don't know what people's quirks are, or their powers. It's simple, we'll take care of them. We're no weaklings. I'm not saying we're weak. I'm saying we don't know how strong they are. Fine, I'll do my research before going after the target. In times like this, I have a feeling I should have added more security measures to your armor. Do you mean to my robotic parts of the armor I wear? Yes. As we've both made robotic armor to cover our machine bodies, it is an extra layer of protection. You did an excellent job in designing them. It took some time to design and make them, as I've also made us bulletproof and fireproof. But if someone has a quirk that could explode, or what to say, decay, there's nothing stopping us from becoming scrap metal. Fine, I'll be more cautious. Now, we can go for a fly. As Izumi pulls out robotic wings and starts flying. As Blue smirks. About time. After all, you're stronger than you let on. As he flies as well. As they fly above the city. Looking around. both of them with enhancing their eyesight. As they notice something. There. As they both fly down, side by side, as they hit two villains, sending them against the wall, knocking them out. As they look around the alleyway, seeing nothing. But they notice the villains had bags. Full of money, most likely from a robbery. Or an exchange. As they tie the villains up, and then fly up. And they head back to their little warehouse. Is there any other information you discovered while you were out, Blue? Yeah, there's a hero school called UA. We kind of discovered that, though, didn't we? I knew there were students from UA, but I didn't know it was a school. Farewell, then. As they fly back, as they land, Blue noticed something on the boat. Is something the matter, Blue? Yes, it seems the tracker has been implemented off the boat. Islander, whoever activated it, will be here soon. Direct the boat to some random coordinates, then. What do you think I'm trying to do? First, I'll need to reroute the power, engine, and everything else. As Izumi walks over and just hits the control panel, converting everything to a certain location. As Blue looks at her. What? It wasn't that hard, you know. I'd already programmed it earlier. All it needed was a good hit. As they both get off, as the boat starts and drives away. You really do things 2 steps ahead, don't you, Izumi? And you always rush in. You're so reckless. You could have always made the other version of me, you know. You're the only other version there is. Don't act like you can't make another. Whatever. As she storms off, and back into the old factory, or the old abandoned warehouse, and checks on some items. Did I say something wrong? And that's gonna be a wrap on chapter 1, or not chapter 1, part 1 of What If Female Deku Was a Robotic Bird. This series turned out better than I expected, to be honest, as I wasn't expecting it to go this well.